Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. This is another installation of MFCA Communications speaking series with one of our members. And today we are elated to have Dr. Herman Aguinis. He is, I think we are all aware, the president of the Academy of Management, and also has been recognized as one of the most cited scholars in economics and business as well. I think we're pretty familiar with his research in that Herman has been really good about sharing your research with MFCA members, especially via our Facebook page, and focuses a lot on research methods. So we're happy to have him here from, I don't know exactly where you're located, but we know you're at George Washington University. Don't know if you're there today, but we're happy to have you with us today. And we just want to take this opportunity to say, number one, congratulations. We are immensely proud to have a member of MFCA as the president of the Academy of Management, and hope that your tenure there is all that you want it to be. So we're going to get started right away so that we can use our time wisely. Thank you again for being here. And, I would imagine that being the Academy of Management president is immensely rewarding and challenging at the same time. So what most excites you about your presidency?
Well, thank you. And hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. It's really an amazing opportunity to give back. I've been a member of the Academy of Management since 1992. I made many friends at the Academy. I made professional connections. In fact, I think I met most of my research collaborators through the Academy of Management. So I'm very grateful because I have also learned so much on how to improve my research and my teaching by attending the Academy conferences. And many of you may be familiar with the PDWs, the pre-conference development workshops, which happen right before the conference, where you learn on things about methods and theory and teaching. And it's a great opportunity to connect with many people. I'm actually a member of 11 of the 26 divisions because it really allows me to expand my horizon and to make connections with people with different interests, different backgrounds. But I'll tell you a secret. This is kind of a private, intimate conversation. So another benefit of being a member of so many divisions is that I get to go to at least 11 receptions at the Academy meetings. And I can't wait for the next one. So yes, I have received so much over the years, and I am just very grateful and excited for having the opportunity to give back.
When you look back, when your tenure is over and you have an opportunity to look back, what would you want your legacy to be of your tenure there as president?
That's an excellent question, because I can try to predict what my legacy will be, but I think I'm thinking what I know what it might be, which, as you know, I was program chair for the 2020 conference that was supposed to happen in Vancouver. And then what happened is that just 4 months before the conference, COVID hit. And we had the entire program ready to go. This was March, April, and we had all the reviews in, the grid ready, the PDW ready. So we had to convert this huge program that was done from in-person to online. We had the contracts with the hotels, we had catering, we had IT, we had the shuttle buses that go from hotel to hotel. Everything was done. So I think people will probably remember me and my tenure for having helped, and I say help because obviously it wasn't just me, it was a huge team effort, convert the conference. And in the end, we had an incredibly successful virtual only conference with about 7,200 participants from 88 countries. We had about 1,600 sessions. If I remember correctly, 1.4 million page views. So it was a huge success. So I think that's what people will probably remember, that I was in the leadership team when we had the conference. But this is what I hope people will remember me for. As I said before, I had a number of leadership roles in the HR division, in the research methods division, in the organizational research methods journal. And I had the feeling, and I have to be super honest with you, and this is between friends, I had the feeling that the AOM was very big, very successful, but very slow and very bureaucratic. And that when we made requests, usually the answer was, no, we can't do that. This is not how we do things. It's not part of our procedures, not part of our tradition. So I just have to be very honest that I was very frustrated at times with the Academy leadership, because I felt that it was hard to do new things. So what I would like to accomplish many years from now, when people think about Herman Aguinis in his leadership role, I would like people to remember me, to think about instances when a member or a division asked to do something useful, innovative, creative, something that would add value, and they can remember that the Academy leadership said yes. When an AOM member wished to create a new online community or group because there was a need, they will remember that the Academy of Leadership said enthusiastically yes. And when an Academy member proposed organizing an event or a conference in some location that was maybe a little too exotic, the answer from the leadership was yes. So in other words, what I would like to do, I'd like people to remember me as an Academy president who was always looking after members' best interests and was very responsive to the needs of the members.
As long as we're talking about legacy, how do you think your role and your being in the role of president has impacted the Latinx community of AOM, and how they view AOM or view the organization now that you're in that role?
Thank you. I think that's another great question. I appreciate that you're asking that, because I am the first Latinx Academy president. I am the 77th president. So 76 presidents before me, and I am the first one, of which I am extremely proud. And not only am I very proud, but I am also very happy, because I think this opens the door to many other Latinx members to take on leadership roles in the future. I cannot tell you how many emails I have received or phone calls in which people tell me now they feel it may be possible for them to aspire to a leadership role in the Academy, because they look at me and say, oh, if Herman did it, maybe I can do it too. And I say, absolutely. If I did it, you can definitely do it. This is not just about the Academy leadership, like the president and the board of the Academy, but also the leadership in the divisions. I said before that each division has an executive committee to which you can be elected as a rep at large. There's also a very important role, since we have probably students watching this video. The majority of the executive committees of the divisions have a student rep. And this is a position to which a student can get selected. And if you're a member of the executive committee of a division, you get to interact with these very senior, influential scholars. When you go to the Academy of Management meeting, you go to the dinner that the executive committee organizes. And when I was in grad school, I never missed an opportunity to get a free dinner. So that's a very good one. But it really creates an amazing opportunity for you as a student, or also as a junior faculty member, to be on the executive committee of a division. So I anticipate seeing a lot more Latinx presence in the Academy leadership and in the division leaderships in the next few years.
Thank you. And I'm sure, again, we know that representation matters. And so, like you said, people seeing you in that role helps them to aspire to do the same types of things. So thank you for being a trailblazer. How do you think, in the same vein, being a member of MFCA over the years has impacted your career?
I just love what I do. I really love what I do. And I feel that we have such an opportunity to do research that is meaningful, research that is important, research that makes a difference. We have an opportunity, and I would also say almost like an obligation, because as a tenure track faculty member, you have such incredible set of benefits. You have job security, you have autonomy, you have time. So the sky's the limit in terms of our creativity and in how we can make contributions to society through our research, through our teaching. So frankly, I don't see what I do as a job, because what I do is who I am, because it allows me to try to make a difference and try to do good things. Now, don't take me wrong. It is very important if you're a junior faculty or a doctoral student to get your publications out, because if you don't have your publications, then you will not be able to get a job and you will not be able to have an opportunity to do these things. But those things are not incompatible. You can do well and do good at the same time. You can do high quality research that's rigorous, that gets published, but also that deals with important topics that society needs to know about. So the PhD project and MFCA have been very important for me. Unfortunately, I was too early in my PhD. When I got my PhD in 1993, the PhD project was not there yet. It was founded, I think, in 1994. And I remember getting the letter in the mail in 1995, inviting me to be a faculty member of the PhD project. When I first got the letter in the mail, and at that time, you actually got mail. So we got paper mail. And I see something about PhD. I'm like, oh, what happened? I already got my PhD. Is there a problem with my degree? I already got my degree 2 years ago. So I became a faculty member a long time ago in 1995. But let me tell you about a major new initiative going on right now called the Research Collaboration Project. And this is a very good example of how the PhD project and MFCA are turning this huge lemon that we call COVID into lemonade. This project started with an aspiration, a wish, almost like a dream, to create a sustainable research ecosystem so that PhD project doctoral students and also junior faculty do not fall through the cracks during the pandemic. So what is it that we're doing? We're creating research teams. These teams are working together on specific projects that lead, again, to conference presentations and journal publications, but on topics that we all care about and topics that we feel will make a contribution to society. So Tosin Wei Di, who is a doctoral student at Emory, and Maquiba Massey, who is a doctoral student at Jackson State, were the real engines of this idea, and they're fantastic. We had a kickoff meeting about a year ago in February 2021. And now we have a great success story to tell a very short year later. We gather information on the interests of about 32 students. And we classified the interests in a matrix. We left 2 by 2s, right? So we had qualitative, quantitative, micro, and macro. And we placed students there. And then we solicited volunteers who were faculty members who wanted to mentor and work with these students. And right now we have about 25 people who are fully engaged. Some of the faculty members you know are Daryl Rice from Miami University, Antoine Busby from Austin State, Oscar Holmes from Rutgers, William Lewis from Laverne, Diana Hechevarria from South Florida, Angelica Lee from Duke, and a couple more. You will be very impressed to learn about the list of about 30 university affiliations that the students are getting their PhDs at. But also the topics I think are really, really fascinating, and they cover the entire gamut of management domains. For example, some of the topics are a theory of performance, best practices in the use of thought experiments in management research, best practices in establishing saturation in qualitative research. There's another paper on conservation of resources, the challenges of frontline employees, performance among underrepresented entrepreneurs in the US Hispanic and African American startups, racial minority leaders in service work, de-identification and diversity in staffing decisions, that is when you hire people, entrepreneurial ecosystems, and what makes an event a mega threat. And we already have results. In a short year, we have results. Several of these teams submitted papers, proposals to the Academy for 2022 in Seattle. Some of these are symposia, some of these are papers, and a couple of papers actually have been submitted for journal publication.
Wow.
So none of this would have been possible without the active support of MFCA members and faculty. So this is just one of the most recent things that are happening in the organization.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And so, like you said, so beneficial to not only the students, but I'm sure to the faculty mentors as well, as they get an opportunity to give back. Great, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. I think that we've learned so much about, in this short amount of time, about who you are and what you stand for and what's important to you from an academic perspective. I'd love to shift gears for the last couple of minutes of our time and learn a little bit more about you personally.
Let's see. All right.
So one of our favorite questions that we ask in this series is what would you consider to be your most prized possession?
Oh, that's easy. It's not material. It's my family. It's my family, not a material possession, but my wife, Heidi, and our daughters, Hannah, who's 19, and Naomi, who's 16. I guess I should also mention our pets. Our house has become a bit of a zoo. So we'll mention our pets because they might watch this video and get a little jealous. We have 2 dogs, Oliver and Gigi, and we have 2 cats, Latte and Oreo, and we have a guinea pig called Bella.
Oh, wow.
So I think at this point, given that Hannah is in college, we're heavily outnumbered in our house. We have only 3 humans against 5 pets.
Right. Oh, my goodness. But family is so important. Yes. So with them or on your own, and particularly, as we've dealt with and are still dealing with the pandemic, what do you find helps you just unwind and relax during these times?
Yeah, and these are things that I did before the pandemic, but more so because of the pandemic, things that I can do in my own house. So first I exercise typically 4 or 5 days a week at the end of the day. And we have a treadmill and also some weights in the basement of our house. So I do that in my house. I don't have to go to the gym. That keeps me sane. And usually I watch like a documentary. I don't watch the news because it's just too depressing. So I watch a documentary or a film that is like an action film or love story, something to get my mind really in a different place. I also love music, listen to music every time I'm driving. I play drums.
Oh, wow.
I have a little drum set. And so I play music on my headsets and play the drums, which is what I did when I was in high school. It was very common in the 80s to have a drummer with a DJ. So the drummer would play on top of the DJ. So I was that drummer that played with the DJ. And I also love to read history books. Okay. And I just finished a book by Dan Jones on the history of the Middle Ages. It's like 900 pages. And one of my daughters looked at me and was like, "What are you reading, Dad?" It's like a 900-page book on the Middle Ages. What are you doing? I said, "I actually like this." And so I like to read history as well.
Oh, wow. One thing that I'm carrying from this is that it's not just, you've said it a few times, it's not just about the research or doing quality research, but doing quality research that you actually care about. And making sure that message is put out there for upcoming doctoral students and scholars to keep in mind that it is important that we do things that we really care about, that are going to help society. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.